How's it going, YouTubers? I haven't said that in a while. So, as you know, my last video was about Carter Hall, where the people came out and the people spoke in the comments. And I had to pick up one of the tobaccos this guy was very passionate about. My first time ever having it. So, Walter Raleigh. Never had it, seen it all the time. Obviously, it's a very popular drugstore tobacco. One of my viewers wrote that they're called codger tobaccos, which I thought was like perfect because it's true. You know, you tend to find just older men buying this stuff, and they've been smoking it for 50 years. However, I will say I've been surprised. So I love it. I do love how these pipe pouches, I mean, it's just, it's such a cool thing to have it unroll. I just love it. But I will say, one of the worst parts about buying this so far, I bought it from the local pipe store. $6, so very affordable. But it was really dried out. So I'm not sure if it's just the way they were storing it, even though it seemed to be in a humid environment, or if it was just a very old pack, but it was wrapped in cellophane. When I opened it, it was like dried leaves. I mean, very crumbly. I had one bowl of it and it was just burned through. It was really bad, really gross. So before making that video, because I was like, wow, this stuff sucks, I thought to myself, let me see if I can bring this back to life and then do an actual video about Sir Walter Raleigh. SWR, as it's called in the streets. So I put a piece of bread in here. I put the butt of a loaf of bread in the pouch and left it there for about a day and a half. I usually try and do between half a day and a day, but this stuff was so dead it needed extra time with the bread. And so I did that, and this is my first bowl of it. But I will say, I am very pleasantly surprised. Yeah, really surprised. I will say, one of the things I enjoy about this that I don't necessarily get from Carter Hall is this whole part, the initial lighting and smoking and kind of tamping it down and putting it up through the soft palate so it comes out your nose, you know, to taste it better. That has been much more enjoyable than Carter Hall, I will say. The initial flavor of this tobacco, in terms of smoking it and having some come out your nose, has been very pleasurable. It's super flavorful, almost brinking on, there's like a fruity aftertaste, I'd say. So far, I've been enjoying this smoke this morning. And I like that it's light and very complex compared to, let's say, half and half. Definitely, I mean, obviously Captain Black. I don't want to say it, but I'll say it, but I think it's awful. I think Captain Black is awful. It might just be good if you want to become an amateur blender, maybe, to have as a nice base, but it's pretty bad. Half and half, I didn't particularly enjoy. I bought a pack, you know, maybe like 10 years ago, and I remember just kind of being like, okay. However, SWR, which I did not have high hopes for at all, is really tasty. It reminds me of Carter Hall quite a bit. It's definitely fruitier than Carter Hall, which is nice. There's a nice, I mean, it's difficult. It's basically like the aftertaste when I blow it out my nose, I get a little bit of sweet fruit. And I appreciate that. Carter Hall doesn't have that. Carter Hall is probably a bit milder than that, but this so far is good. It's light, it's easy to smoke. it's cheap, dirt cheap. So I am actually enjoying Sir Walter Raleigh SWR. I think if you're trying to get into drugstore tobaccos or just do, taste the rainbow, if you will, of drugstore tobaccos, definitely include this. I'd say Carter Hall, this. If you want to know what kind of not great is, I'd say half and half Captain Black. If you're a beginning smoker, start with Captain Black. But I think relatively soon you'll graduate from that. As your taste buds and your palate's gonna want more complex flavors and stuff. But this I'm very pleasantly surprised by. The other one that people were really up on is Prince Albert. So I tried to buy some Prince Albert. Unfortunately, it only came in like the big, huge, like we'll call them handles of tobacco. I don't know how much that is. Might be like a pound, might be a pound and a half. So good. But I want to get Prince Albert because that was the other one that people were saying, you got to try this. Honestly, it's really good. It's my everyday tobacco. So I got the SWR camp and the PA camp, we'll call it. And I'd like to try Prince Albert because even though these all seem to sort of, I mean, this and Carter Hall, very little difference, really tiny little difference. But I can understand why somebody, like why I love Carter Hall, would love this. Oof, burped. So that's kind of the video. Just wanted to tell you that due to the outpour of comments, I was like, I've got to go pick these two tobaccos up. I couldn't get Prince Albert. They didn't have any small pouches. But Sir Walter Raleigh, I mean, I'm digging it. I understand it. And thank you so much for telling me your opinions because had it not been so forceful, I probably would not have picked it up and just been like, that's crazy. Why would you like that? But it is really good. I might try and just do drugstore tobacco, like an array of the videos to tell you what I think. So if you're already there, if you're a beginning smoker, start off with Captain Black or something equally just inexpensive but very flavorful with like vanillas, cherries, any of that. I know they have a grape one. Just to even begin to learn how to smoke a pipe, the speed that you should smoke with, and the fact that you'll enjoy it and people around you will be like, oh my God, that smells so good. And then as you find that you might want something more complex, you might move up to Sir Walter Raleigh, Carter Hall. Half and half might be a good jumping off point to get to something even more complex, but these are great. I'd prefer, if you guys have suggestions of other stuff. Someone mentioned Sail, which I don't often see. A Sail Yellow, which is the regular one. Hi, Mom. And I might have to try that as well. So I'm loving this. Thank you for the suggestions to those of you, and I'll see you next time. Happy piping.